Hello crystals, welcome back to my channel. From today I start a MND series, means the motor neuron disease series. In this series we will learn many motor neuron disease. But this is the introductory video on MND. So in this video we will discuss some overview about motor neuron disease. After this video I will upload videos on many motor neuron disease. So stay tuned with me and subscribe my channel. So let's get started. Before we start to learn about motor neuron disease, let's revise the structure of our neuron. So the neuron has small process which is called the dendrite, long process which is called the axon, and the cell body or soma which contains the nucleus and mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, and so on other organelles, right? And we have also a myelin sheath, but the myelin sheath is not continuous, so there is a node of Ranvier is also present, so the saltatory conduction occurs through it. So it is the saltatory conduction is responsible for the rapid transmission of the impulses from one axon to other axon. So there is also a synapse which is the junction between the one axon to other dendrite of the neuron, or between the two axons, right? In the synapse there is also neurotransmitters are present, which is responsible for transmission of impulses. And so this channel of neurons, right? So these neurons are make a channel, so there is a descending and ascending pathways are also present, which is responsible for our voluntary muscle action and sensory information from bring up and down and other works, like, right? And there is also upper motor neuron and lower motor neuron. So let's clear the concept of upper motor and lower motor. So in short, the upper motor neuron which are present in our cortex, and the lower motor neurons which are present in our brainstem, which is the pons, medulla and midbrain, and in the spinal cord, right? So the upper motor neuron are synapses with the lower motor neuron and make the pathways which are the descending or ascending pathways. Okay, let's talk about our main topic, which is the motor neuron disease. So the motor neuron disease, it is a group of disease in which the motor neurons undergo degeneration and die. So there is a loss of function in our body. So the motor neuron disease are the rare but the severe form of neurodegenerative disorders. So let's talk about some causes which are responsible for the motor neuron disease to occur. So the main cause is idiopathic, means there is there is no factor which cause the motor neuron disease. It is mainly the neurodegenerative disorder. So there are motor neuron disease. The other causes which are exposure to viruses, exposure to certain toxins and chemicals, genetic factors, inflammation and damage to neurons caused by an immune system response, which is the autoimmune disorders, nerve growth factors, growth and repair and aging of motor neurons, etc. There are also the familial MND, which is account for about 5 to 10% of cases. The majority of cases are the sporadic, which are the contains the 90 to 95% cases which are sporadic. So there is a different level of nervous system are involved in the neurodegeneration. So there is a sometimes the frontal atrophy in the precentral gyrus or the corticobulbar pathway, cranial nerve nuclei, corticospinal tract or anterior horn cell, right? So in this different level where the neurodegeneration occurs, that type of symptoms we can felt. So some risk factors which are so the motor neuron disease affect the man more than men than the woman. Inherited forms of conditions may be present at the birth, most likely to appear after the age of 40 years and usually between the 55 to 75 years of age. The various type of motor neuron disease are occur, which is the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, pseudobulbar palsy, Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, and others so on. So the spinal muscular atrophy is always hereditary, but this is not true for all forms of MND. The veterans appear to have a 1.5 to 2 times higher chance of developing ALS than the non-veterans. Means the soldiers have more chances to develop motor neuron disease than the non-veterans. A study of on the 2012 study trusted source found that footballers have a higher risk of dying from the ALS, Alzheimer disease, and the other neurodegenerative disease compared with the other people. So the experts think that this could be indicate a link with the recurrent head trauma, which leads to neurodegeneration and then the motor neuron disease. Okay. So about motor neuron disease, I hope you like this video and please subscribe my channel so when I upload new videos on motor neuron disease, so you can get a notification about it. Thank you again.